You have some really good options for quarterbacks. Can you just talk about their improvement and which way you might be leaning towards September?
Yeah, we keep up with every throw, every single stat you can think of known to mankind with those guys. To be honest, they're all throwing the ball very well. They're high on their scale, they're high on team percentage, they're high on one-on-one, they're high on their one-on-zeros. They've all gotten a lot better. And I know that sounds like coach talk, but it's the truth. They've all gotten a lot better. We've all been together for 20 months, but it seems like a long time as compared to last year. So yeah, we compete every day, and Frank is taking the ones right now, and Josh has been going with the twos, and we've mixed that up some. And Lowell's still trying to get healthy. He's not, but he's closer than he was. JoJo's a great thrower of the ball as well, and Eddie Lee is an incredible thrower. And Cam is getting better today. I mean, he had a better day today than he has. So, and Zach can throw the ball around really well. So we feel good about that room. We've got a lot of depth. The hardest thing is just keeping them all happy per se. And as we've all seen, you can be from a 4 to a 1 in a week. We've already proven that. I hope that doesn't ever happen again, but we've already seen it happen once.
Thank you.
Putting the shells on, just how does that kind of change things with the dynamics? You had 2 days, just shorts and helmets, and now getting those on as you progress toward Illinois.
Yeah, we weren't as sharp today as we were yesterday, but we also installed a little bit more today. But I think just that yesterday was a real cloudy, windy day. We had just come off a break on a Sunday. It was the first time we had our pads on. There was a lot of excitedness. Today I could tell we were a little more tired, and that bothers me a little bit, but we got after them pretty good. We'll get in the weight room today and lift them pretty hard, and pull back a little bit tomorrow, go full pads the next day, and get after it again.
Do you make those adjustments in practice, or do you kind of, as you just said, it was like we kind of noticed this, maybe we'll take it easy a little bit tomorrow before we go into full pads?
I'm not a guy. Most guys go ahead and practice, correct every practice, all through fall camp and all the way to the end of time. I've never been that guy because I think stuff changes. Sounds great when you put it, when you're on your vacation in July and you're on a beach and you're planning practice schedule till your left guard might have an ankle and your backup left guard might have a toe, and now you don't have but one guard. But you had these 26 periods planned. So I've always been a guy that and it drives my coaches crazy, but I'm gonna take care of my players. I'm gonna always come in, right when I get done with you guys, I'm gonna go right in there and script another practice. And it drives coordinators nuts, but it keeps everybody on their toes around here, because you never know what's gonna happen when you work for Coach Traylor. It's gonna be changing at all times, because what matters most is my players trust me, and they know I'm going to get into the game prepared, fresh, healthy, and ready to roll.
Jeff, how much do you or maybe some of your position coaches talk to the guys about the next level and what it takes to get there?
All the time. We've had scouts here almost every day, and we give our kids real information, because I'm not going to be the one to make that decision for those kids. If I tell them to go to the league and they don't get drafted, I don't want them to be mad at me about it. And if they come back and they get injured, I don't want them to be mad at me. At the same time, I'm going to give them real information. The scouts that have been here watching them, when the season's up, we'll sit down and try to get them as much information as possible, knowing there's still some risk in that, because you just don't really know. So it's tough for those young men, but we know what their goals are, and we're here to help them get there. It helps me. We're going to recruit better. Oh, what if Sincere leaves? Well, if he goes and gets drafted, it's good for UTSA, it's good for Sincere, it's good for Converse, it's good for everybody. And I guarantee there'll be more great running backs wanting to come here, because they see they can get to the NFL from right here. Marcus Davenport was one of the best things that ever happened in this school. David Morgan, a lot of those guys that came here, and Jarvion, and went to the league, that helps. So it's always a good thing.
Do you get the sense that Sincere is a player who's on a lot of teams' radars at this point and would have a shot at that level potentially?
I think we've got a few guys on some radars, to be honest with you. And they're in here to watch a few certain people, but while they're here, they're nosing other guys. And it was no different when I was a high school coach. When the college guys were there recruiting one kid, they found 6 other ones while they were there. Well, it's no different here. It's just a different level, but it's still the same. So when the scouts are here, they notice other players. So other guys are getting evaluated, and that's good for all of us.
With Sincere specifically, is there anything he has to do or show to be, more projectable to that level or to have a better shot?
I think it's going to all come down to speed with him. If he can prove to those guys that he has legitimate speed, he's a great back. He's shifty, he's tough, he has IQ, he has character, he can block, he can catch, he can do everything. But they only draft about 7 to 8 of those guys a year, and all of them runs 4 or 5 or less. So I imagine that'll be, I can't imagine anything else they could look at. So we'll make that decision when the time's come, and I'll help him the best I can, but that's going to be a decision for Sincere. And here's what we tell them all the time. When we win, there's enough for everybody. And when we lose, there's never enough for anyone. If we go out there and win ball games, it's going to help our brand, which is going to give those kids more leverage, which is going to help them get into more camps. If we lose, there's not as much leverage, the brand goes down. It's all about branding, and what have I told you all a million times? For us, branding is when our image and our identity match. That's what branding is. It can't be, oh, we hear he's all this and then he's that. That's not a brand. That's a bunch of sizzle and no steak.
Rashad's another interesting one to talk about when it comes to the pro prospects. A player at his size, what does he have to show or do to make himself a prospect for the next level?
Again, I would imagine speed, just because of his height. They're going to say he's too short. They're probably going to say Sincere's too short. But you can't measure a man's IQ really on the football field, and you can't measure what's in his heart. And both those kids have incredible integrity.
Coming into the season, the defense is deep. It's experienced, 11 starters returning. What are you wanting to improve on this year with defense?
Depth. We want to make sure we recruited some really good players in here, and we want to get them ready to go. We were very fortunate last year to get through a whole year almost injury-free. At linebacker, we had one COVID incident in the bowl game with 2 kids, and we had a thumb on Tyler. And Trevor played every game, and Jamal played every game until the COVID situation. So that's scary. It's a hard way to coach football. It's hard to sleep at night when you just know if you're one ankle injury away from you won't be able to have anybody out there that we think would get it done for us. So depth, we've really addressed that. We want to be 3 deep on our defensive line and minimum 2 deep everywhere else, because that's going to help our special teams. We had to improve on our special teams. We weren't bad last year, but we've got an All-American kicker that we're going to get one more time. This is it. This is our last time with him, and we've got an All-American punter. So our special teams should match their play.
We look for the first day of pads, especially the high school rank, such a big day. It's almost a holiday, in fact. Is there anything that maybe, I know rules have changed and things are different than the high school and college level, that you took from Gilmer that you put into the first day of pads here at UTSA?
No, I'm not very much into all the, razzle-dazzle, silly stuff. We try to do what the game is, and we want our kids to go as hard as they possibly can all the time. So we don't do anything. The only thing I think we do that might be a little bit different is when we go to inside run, we make inside run a really big deal. The offensive coordinator's there, the defensive coordinator's there, the special team coordinator's there, head coach is there. All coordinators are there. So one-on-one's on the other end, and our receiver coach and our DB coach are handling that. But all coordinators are in inside run, and we really stress that. That's 2/3 of our triangle in one drill. So we want to be very physical on defense. We want to be great at running the ball. And our kids have really bought into that mantra.
Jeff, how do you assess Spencer Burford's play last year? How did he grade out for you guys?
He's very talented. He's big, he's fast, he's physical. And I'm very blessed to have him for my left tackle. Comes to work every day, very businesslike, and got some nasty to him. He can still get better, he knows that. We've got some things to work on. But what we've got him working on, he's doing right now.
He was telling us at Media Day that I think he said he could broad jump like 10 feet and some of these other like combine style numbers that he's put up. Is he especially impressive in that way, or what do you make of his performance in those areas?
Yeah, no doubt. He will absolutely kill it in our pro day. He'll crush it.
Of the San Antonio area kids who have come in, like Rainey, Rigsby, Lewis, are there any that are standing out to you?
DA has been fantastic. Smile on his face every day. Works his tail off. Plays hard on special teams. Can tackle. Can run. Can catch. He's blocking very well. Rainey had a big 6 today. Had him a touchdown. Riggs has been running with the twos today, snapping the football for us already. So, yeah, we've made a huge emphasis on those San Antonio kids, and we're thrilled with them. And we don't think we missed on any of those kids. We think we hit on every one of them.